Today on Public Eye News, new baiting restrictions for certain Wisconsin counties, and later, new developments in the United Auto Workers strike.
Melissa Santour will have your sports update, and Marin Parks will have your weather forecast. I'm Brad Seaboard.
And I'm Austin Graham, and this is Public Eye News. Yesterday, Wisconsin Republicans got closer to a Senate floor vote on a bill that would tackle the issues of pollution caused by PFAS chemicals. The Wisconsin Senate's Natural Resources Committee approved legislation in a 3-2 vote yesterday, which will allow a full vote in the chamber. If the bill passes the Senate, it will then go to the Assembly and eventually to the desk of Governor Tony Evers for consideration. However, it appears that the bill may not make it that far. Evers spokesperson Britt Kudabak said that Republicans still don't share our commitment to finding real, meaningful solutions to the pressing water quality issues facing our state. Many cities in Wisconsin, such as Madison, Marinette, and Green Bay, have had issues with PFAS contaminating their groundwater. And the Wisconsin DNR has announced that a farm-raised deer in Outagamie County tested positive for chronic wasting disease, also known as CWD. This positive test result is within the county borders of Calumet, Winnebago, and Wapaka. State law requires the DNR to enforce a 3-year baiting and feeding ban in each county that has cases of CWD. The DNR also has to enact a 2-year ban on neighboring counties that are within a 10-mile radius of a CWD detection. Calumet begins its 2-year ban tomorrow. Outagamie will renew its current ban, and Winnebago and Wapaka have bans in place due to positive test results within each county.
And in Cleveland, a sculpture commemorating the 1967 Ali Summit has been unveiled. A seminal moment in the civil rights movement, the summit featured the top black athletes in America, such as Jim Brown, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Muhammad Ali. Alongside the erection of the statue, the Cleveland major sports teams have announced they'll be hosting a yearly summit to promote lasting social change. The sculpture depicts the press conference table that the athletes sat at following their meeting. The table features 12 microphones to symbolize the 12 participants, 11 athletes, and Carl Stokes, who would go on to become Cleveland's first black mayor. Located on the site of the summit, the sculpture celebrates the 55th anniversary of the meeting and hopes to inspire many for generations to come. And 4 NMU alumna have been awarded with the Screen Dance Short of the Year at the 2023 Independent Shorts Awards International Film Festival in Los Angeles. John Sheeby, Casey Sheeby, Karina Johnson, and Riley Owen walked the red carpet for their short, Perhaps We Wronged Them. The film explores how childhood trauma can evolve over time well into the survivor's adulthood. The film initially premiered at NMU's North Coast Dance Festival this past summer and was also posted to Sheeby's Yonder Studio Instagram account, where it was shared widely. Sheeby's previous film was based on Negaunee deep mining history and culture, which was screened at last year's Marquette Fresh Coast Film Festival. And the city of Niles, Michigan is being asked to change its name. Niles, the city of 4 flags, takes its name from the 4 nations that have controlled the land in its past. Locals are now taking issue with the city's long-standing name. Tiana Baxter has more.
At a meeting Monday night, the Pokagon Band of Potawatomi Indians Representation Outreach Board showed their support to the recommendation to retire the City of 4 Flags moniker. That was expressed by a local resident, Ann Bourne. In a letter addressed to the Niles City Council, Pokagon's Outreach Board said, "Those who invaded and claimed this land for themselves effectively worked to erase the deep and rich cultures and contributions of the indigenous people who cared for the land for thousands of years pre-contract, and who remain and continue to enrich and contribute to the community in myriad ways." Ending that letter saying, "This is Powhatan, home of the Rapids. We are here as we always have been." Unlike with Dowagiac schools, the city of Niles doesn't receive any money from the Pokagon Band, and officials claim if the request is not fulfilled, it won't affect much, though changing the logo wouldn't be cheap. There is no word on what the next step would be regarding this request, since it was just brought up before the council Monday. Officials say this type of change will take some serious time and a lot more conversations.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with your weather and national news after this break.
I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. On this awesome episode of UTR, we're back in Jackson for an underground railroad, some hot food and cold brew, and a collection of captivating concrete canvases. We'll even meet a super cool couple who quell big burger and ice cream cravings. This isn't under the radar. You just gotta see.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. My name is Marin Parks, and I am here with your weather update for today. So first of all, taking a look at the NMU campus, it's some drearier conditions, definitely looking like we're going into fall. Now taking a look at conditions across the UP. So over in Houghton, it's going to be 52 degrees and cloudy. Down in Ironwood, 53 and cloudy, and in Iron Mountain, 51 and cloudy. Down in Menominee, we're going to be seeing 53, a little bit warmer with the sun peeking out. Then over in Escanaba, we'll be seeing 53 degrees and cloudy. Up in Ironwood, 53 and cloudy. And then over in Sault Ste. Marie, it'll be 55 and the only sun that we'll be seeing across the entire UP today. So yippee for them. And then home in Marquette, we're seeing partly cloudy conditions with 50 degrees. Now looking at our current conditions, we've got winds out of the northeast at 10 miles per hour and a barometric pressure of 30.07 degrees and falling. And looking at tonight, it's mostly cloudy skies with a low 43 degrees and winds out of the northeast at 8 miles per hour. Going on till tomorrow, we'll be seeing some cloudy skies with a high of 52 and a low of 47 and winds out of the east at 14 miles per hour. Looking ahead at our weekend, we're going to see a high of 49 and a low of 45 on Saturday with some scattered showers. Cloudy conditions into Sunday with a high of 50 and a low of 44, and those clouds continuing all the way into Monday with a high of 47 and a low of 41. And that is what I've got for your weather update. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Marin, for that weather update. It definitely looks like it's going to be a cold, wet weekend, right,
Yeah,
Brad?
it looks like fall is well and truly here.
And I'm loving it. I'm loving the fall weather. We have moving on into our national news now. In Detroit, the United Autos workers' strike has gained momentum after a surprise walkout took place last night at Ford's truck plant in Louisville, Kentucky. Earlier today, union president Shawn Fain hinted that more action may be taken against Jeep maker Stellantis. Here's to hoping talks at Stellantis today are more productive than Ford yesterday, Fain said on Twitter. He also said in a statement that Ford hasn't gotten the message when referring to bargaining for a fair contract. If they can't understand that after 4 weeks, the 8,700 workers shutting down this extremely profitable plant will help them understand it. The UAW expanded its strikes on September 22nd and added 38 GM and Stellantis parts warehouses. The walkout in Kentucky brought the number of workers on strike to 33,700. And the IRS says that tech company Microsoft owes the U.S. Treasury $28.9 billion in back taxes, plus penalties and interest. Microsoft has said that it has followed IRS regulations and is going to appeal the ruling, which is expected to be a several-year process. Since the announcement, Microsoft shares have taken a slight dip in aftermarket trading. The IRS began an audit on the tech giant in 2007, and Microsoft has said that it was recently notified by the IRS that the audit has ended, which will open up a new process that will resolve the issue over how much money is owed. Microsoft's corporate vice president, David Goff, said that the $28.9 billion could be reduced to $10 billion as a result of a 2017 tax law signed by then U.S. President Donald Trump. And the conflict between Israel and Palestine is rapidly evolving, with at least 2,400 confirmed dead as the fighting only continues to intensify. Correspondent Chanel Call has the latest. A warning to some viewers, as some of these images are violent and graphic in nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
6 days since the surprise attack from Hamas militants, Israel continues striking Gaza. Around 300,000 Israeli troops are now positioned near the Gaza Strip, among them reservists mobilized from countries around the world, including the U.S. Overnight, Gaza was thrown into darkness after the region's only power plant ran out of fuel. Hospitals there now relying on generators, with the humanitarian crisis growing. Yesterday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to wipe Hamas off the map. He and his top political rival have now formed an emergency wartime cabinet. At a White House roundtable with Jewish leaders, President Biden said he issued a warning to Iran, which has given money and weapons to Hamas for years. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is now on the ground in Israel to discuss further military assistance and the hostage situation. Chanel Call, CBS News.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with your sports update after this quick break.
I'm Les Stroud. Come with me on a journey to learn new survival skills from the few remaining indigenous tribes around the world. With never-before-seen footage of tribal rituals and ceremonies that help us discover how these cultures have persevered for thousands of years living close to the earth. Once you have secured the survival of your body, you must ensure the survival of your mind and spirit. Join me and go beyond survival.
Tonight at 10:30.
Welcome back. I'm Melissa here with your sports update. The NMU men's hockey team is set to kick off the season facing the number 17 ranked Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs this Friday. The Bulldogs recently had a game against rivals Michigan Tech, resulting in a 2-2 tie. The Bulldogs managed to secure the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame trophy through a shootout win, commencing their season with a 0-1 record. A successful performance by the Cats this weekend could propel them into the top 20 as they've been gaining attention in the preseason polls by the USCHO and USA Today, receiving votes, an achievement we haven't seen since their 20th ranking on January 24th, 2022. And the Northern Michigan women's volleyball team is gearing up for the Midwest Regional Crossover in Hammond, Indiana, where teams from the GLIAC, GMAC, and GLVC conferences will face off. The Cats' first match is scheduled for Friday, October 13th at 12:30 p.m. against Trevecca Nazarene. On Saturday, they will have a doubleheader starting with Cedarville at 12:30 p.m. and later competing against Missouri S&T at 5:30 p.m. In this conference crossover event, a total of 38 teams from 3 Midwest conferences will be in competition, with up to 7 matches happening simultaneously. Fans can catch the action on JED-TV paid as the matches unfold. Kicking it over to soccer, the NMU men's soccer team is approaching its final regular season road trip with a focus on matches against GLIAC rivals, the SVSU Cardinals and Davenport Panthers. The Wildcats are set to face the Cardinals on Friday at noon. Following this, they will go head-to-head with the Davenport Panthers on Sunday at 3 p.m. This weekend is crucial for the Cats as they currently trail the Cardinals by 1 point and the Panthers by 3 points in the GLIAC standings. Previously in the season, the Cats had a victory against the Panthers and an unfortunate 0-1 loss against the Cardinals. That's all I have for your sports. Back to the desk.
Thanks for that sports update. It certainly is an exciting time on campus with all of our sports teams getting well underway.
It sure is. I'm really ready for the hockey season. Do you have a few more stories for us, Brad?
I do. I have a couple more.
All right.
Starting off with NASA just yesterday released photos and videos of its first sample of extraterrestrial matter from a carbon-rich asteroid 60 million miles away from Earth named Bennu. The expected sample size of about 1 cup of material, which consists of carbon and water-bearing clay materials, was collected 3 years ago by the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft and could provide key information from the dawn of the solar system. Once the sample is properly archived, NASA plans to send out portions to researchers around the world. And over in Long Island, New York, Alan Weber, a 54-year-old man, was pronounced dead after an altercation with police on Tuesday night. The Suffolk County officers were called to respond to reports of Weber screaming and breaking items when they arrived and were faced with Weber wielding 2 swords and wearing a fencing mask. Weber did not respond to being tased, which led officers to shooting him 6 times. Body cam footage from the officers involved is currently under investigation. Wow, that NASA story certainly is interesting, but unfortunately that's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. I'm Brad Seaborg.
And I'm Austin Graham.
And we will see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for watching Public Eye News. You can subscribe to our YouTube, tune in to WNMU Channel 13 every weekday at 4, or follow our Instagram at NMU Penn to never miss a story.